This is a bit of a focus on the T62a alone from the other two Russian mediums. So in 1961, Russia developed this as an MBT, a main battle tank. It was a follow-on from the T55s, which we don't have in this game, which is a bit of a pisser, really, if you ask me, because, to be honest, on PC, the T55 is super dominant. So it's the first tank that Russia introduced with a smoothbore gun that could fire the armour-piercing composite rigid rounds at a higher velocity, which in this game is 1525 meters per second, which is relatively quick. You don't have to lead your target too much. There are plenty of soft stats about the T62a that you don't see in this game that give it benefits over the other two. It has better firing on the move stats, better traverse and accuracy on circle jerking enemy vehicles, due to the fact that it's got better on the move stats, but it's slower than the others. So anyway, we'll get into a bit about the tank and what I run on it. I go vert, stabs and vents, because who wouldn't want to fire on the move, and with the vents a little bit better than usual, and a gun rammer, so that we get increased loading time. You can run optics, buy run food, so that increases the view range with the brothers in arms and the vents to pretty much max. I don't run too much heat because you don't need to, because pretty much if in the 62A you can pen everything that you need to pen, because you just get really close to the enemy tanks and they can't pen you, and you just kick them around the floor. So skills that I'm currently got: Sixth Sense, brothers in arms repairs, snapshot, camouflage, move ride, and preventive maintenance and situational awareness to extend that view range. And armour always helps, because this thing does suffer with the gun, because even if they shoot you in the turret, they don't pen, but occasionally they'll bang you on the gun, and that'll just save you that requirement of a repair. So the modules, the engine, it's the least powered of the three tier 10 Russian mediums. It's slowest, but it's not by much, but it's still the slowest. The gun, 0.34 accuracy, 2-second aim time, 750 meters of range, I believe. I can't read it from here, it's too small, and 5 degrees of gun depression and plenty of elevation. The tracks, great traverse, unbelievable ability to mobile and spinning around. The turret, the same, really fast turning. There's the radio, everybody can hear you on the battlefield at 850 meters shouting that you haven't got much fucking support. And there's your engine. Fuel tank's the front thing, don't get shot in it. First person it will kill is the driver. It's great fun. Not losing the driver is amazing, yeah. Takes away the skills of the tank, really, the mobility factor. That's where the crew all sit. They're up in that great big Stalin's moustache dome. And here we go through the important part. Nothing on the tracks, nothing on the bottom of the tank. So if you're on hard ground and a Death Star shoots the ground under you, you're going to die. And so there's the 20 millimeters. It's an auto bounce at this angle I'm showing you here. It's just not going through. But if you do happen to be below your enemy, they can pen your upper plate. The gun and the rear of the turret and the rear of the bodywork have that little armour. There's the armour on the back of the turret. At that slope, it's still ridiculous. And the cupola, if cupola's the only weak spot, but it's so damn small. And if you're sitting still long enough and they can bang it through the cupola, well, then you're not playing this tank right. At this angle, that frontal armour can bounce some stuff. Not much, but it will bounce the odd shot here and there. Now we get into the real strengths of the tank. At these angles, this armour here on the sides and the rear of the turret is still ridiculous. That there is basically ricochet to everybody that fires at it. And the only thing that's penning the next section of armour, that bit there, is Jaegeru heat, E100 heat, and that's if they hit really close to the gun mantlet where it's the flattest. If they hit on that angle there, or around here, they're not going through. But if they shoot you sort of there, all you have to do to stop them from going through is just move a bit. Simple. So that's the T62a in a nutshell, and we'll go through some gameplay. So you have to be map and ridge aware pretty much. It's Fisherman's Bay. We've already taken out a T10 potato, who was quickly followed by a T125 potato, As you can see, I'm using the strength for the 62A. I'm close to that T110E5. He cannot shoot any part of me apart from the turret. Thank you very much. You made that rather easy, sir. What are you doing on our side of the map so soon? Surely you must know there'll be enemy everywhere. Anyway, so we go through because we know now that a large number of the enemy forces are in the gap, in the dip at the top of the map where I've just looked, and down there in the town.
Target locked.
Now I'm predominantly looking for the T10 that had got spotted and I'd noticed pop up on the map. I wanted to get some shots into him, and to be quite honest, what are you doing where you are? Because if you're doing anything, I'd like to know what it is when you're sitting there, because I think all it is to be a target. So we accept that one in the tracks from him, and whatever it was up in the top hits the side of the turret, which is pretty much, as you saw, a bounce. Now this is where we start to become map aware and ridge aware. Insane Murdoch from Ready 5 and I are both in 62As. Unfortunately, he wasn't quite as in a good position as me. I'm trying to get myself hull down now. There's a bat chat on the loose. The Waffenträger has taken out the top two tanks in the top right corner, and as you see, we can bumper fire the 62A. And now we've just lost the T10 to the Waffle. Bumper fire the Waffle because of Russian accuracy. And now we can aim that shot, make sure. This is classic 62A. That shell speed didn't even need to lead that bat chat at all, just aim at him at that range. So now we are taking a couple of shots, but we bounce the Waffenträger because we're hull down. So we're working this little ridge, and he's taken out Insane Murdoch. So now I am in this field alone. And of course the 62A is aware of this fact, and so is the E75 and the Waffle. So it's time for me to join some friends. And we'll leave those guys in the capable hands of themselves. So now what I wanted to do was give the numbers in the town an additional force, get myself out of trouble, release these guys to come back up the top and make additional numbers to be able to attack the Waffenträger E100 and the E75 and the 62A. And we pick up a couple of nice on the move pens in the E4. But because I stopped moving, I didn't hit the 62A. Now we get a nice pen into the broadside of the IS4, but frontally, like me and my turret, they're made out of Stalin's moustache. So we just want to get some tracking assist on this guy, and we'll pick that up. And we'll make sure that he stays tracked so we can get any additional on that. So the Waffenträger E100 gets taken down.
Target locked.
And then the E75 has run out of friends. And when I checked him out, there was no way that a 41% win ratio player whose highest tier tank was his E75 was ever going to pull this one out of the bag on his own. So we give him a thump for his problems, and that's the game. So as you see, the T62A has its strengths and weaknesses for sure. But that amount of damage with assisted was enough to get me a Mastery 2. And thanks for watching. See you on the next one.